Hi, thank you again for tuning into my channel today, and I'm Inspired Grizel. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, go ahead and do so. All right, just hit the notification bell below so that when I upload a new video you can see it. So today I'll be continuing on my Dubai experience. So if you haven't watched my last video, you go and do so. So after the last video, I got lots of comments from people telling me to be more explicit, that I was kind of like rushing over the video, and I didn't provide more details that could help someone in need. Okay, so I will just go back a bit, then I'll move into my first job experience here in Dubai. Okay, so let's start. So as I said, before I came here, I did the necessary research, right? Know what kind of dressing is allowed, what I'm supposed to do, what I'm not supposed to do. But then when I came in, I discovered that there are so many laws. Like if you cross, jaywalking has a fine, getting into a bus, chewing gum, there's a fine for that, and all of those things. And it's a bit difficult for us Africans, because we have a free kind of lifestyle where we come from. But if you choose to come to another country, you need to get yourself ready for it, okay? And while I came and I went to my bed space, to me, I wouldn't say it's not the kind of life I was used to, but I had to adapt because I knew why I was here. Everyone that left their country and they came to Dubai, they came for a reason. It wasn't just to come and visit and see another beautiful city. No, we came here to work. I'm here to meet that person that just came. Apart from people who came, maybe they came to start a business, but almost 90% of us are here to work. Okay, so because you came to work, you need to get yourself ready to work. Okay, my case was different because before I came, I had a laptop. All I needed was internet to get applying and adjust my CV, because the CV that I was using back home was a bit different from the standard they expect here. Like your CV needs to have a picture, but back home we don't. It's not a necessity, right? I understand that there are people that come here and they don't have a laptop and they have to pay to go to the cyber, or they have to use their phones, which is not very comfortable. But whatever the situation, you have to make the most of it. Okay? Seek advice from people, but then be able to filter it. People will tell you to make all sorts of CV, which is good, but do something that is in line with what you can adapt to. Okay, let's say for example, I read management in the university, right? My bachelor's degree was in management. Now, can I work as a salesperson? Of course, yes, I can. Can I work as an accountant? Not sure, right? So for people, there are people that come here with degrees and others without degrees. So getting a sales job, or waitress, a cleaner, a security guard, have some options. If you can't find a job as an accountant, what is the next option for you, right? Don't be all stereotyped, neither bring yourself so down, because there is a tendency of people telling you, oh, it's only security jobs Africans can get. It's only cleaner job. That's not true. I heard all those stories, but I was so focused. I knew why I came here. I knew how I could sell myself. I knew that there was a greater power working in me. So I adjusted my CV. I left all my experiences as I had from back home. What I did was just add a picture to that CV, and I was applying. I will send that same CV for a sales job. I'll send the same CV for as an admin staff. I kept doing that for a while. Is the process easy? No. I'll apply sometimes for a week, most times, because most jobs are advertised overnight. So I have to stay from maybe 12 midnight to like 2 a.m. and applying on all the job websites. Now, there are sites that are more reliable than others. So it's for you to determine. Like I will use Dubizu, I would use College Times, Nokri Golf, Golf Talent, like every possible site you could imagine. I had accounts like everywhere. The process was tedious sometimes, but I kept pushing, and I kept praying. And I kept going to church, because one thing I learned about being in this land is God is a necessity. He's not an option. Like you need God if you will make it in this land. You need God. You can't just go by, you can't just do it like that. You need God. Like I saw God here more clearly than I've ever seen him. So I kept applying. I'll go for some interviews. They'll tell me they'll get back. They won't come back to me. I'll go for some, and because of the salary package and the conditions, I won't agree to it. So you need to judge yourself. What is it you really are looking for and what you can cope with, all right? For example, they're giving you a job of say how much, and there's no accommodation, there's no transportation, and you're really living far. Should you take it? Sometimes you have to. Like I said, it's a situation you need to judge for yourself, right? And even when you go for those interviews, you need not to be so desperate, because sometimes they sense desperation and then they offer you anything because they know you really need it. Okay, so I kept applying and trusting God. 5 days to my visa expiring, I got a call. I just woke up that morning. I was in a praise mood, and I got a call. I went there. When I went there, I mean, it wasn't really an interview. He told me to start, and we agreed on a particular salary. After my visa change, I came back, went through the medicals, had my Emirates ID. Then I started work. By then, our office was in Udmeta, right? I started work, and the first month, this guy pays me less than what we agreed. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you know, I spent on your visa this, that, so I'm going to give you 500 dirhams less of our agreement. Well, I told myself, okay. Then he said, well, if you work hard within the next month, I'm going to add the salary. Now, I was staying in Abu Hira and going to Udmeta. By then, the fare was 1.5 dirhams, so it was okay. Going back and forth, I really didn't mind because it was on the green line, right? The second month, he paid. Third month, he started behaving funny. Like, lots of things were going on that were really personal and a bit humiliating. And what I noticed is in that office, when I got there, the lady that handed over to me, it was a Filipino, and she told me the other colleagues were on leave. But I noticed there were actually no other colleagues apart from the sales guys. Basically, it was just me. So I had to be secretary, I had to be accountant, I had to be HR, I had to be everything. But I told myself, God told me it's a learning phase, so I was patient. This is not what we signed up for, but I was patient. I took the time. I had to learn. I've never worked on a Mac system before because we used to do events. We used to do events and sale. I mean, it was one company doing hundreds of stuff, right? But I took that as a learning experience. I was learning. Now, our office moved from Udmeta to Alco's industrial area, which was quite a distance for me, but I kept on. Now, when I went there, he will pay some months. There was this particular month, he actually gave me 900 dirhams. That's when I started telling myself, I've had enough of this. My contract wasn't that. Okay, you've broken the terms of the agreement, but I'm still keeping on. So I started reading the labor laws. What is my place? What I could do or what I couldn't do. He gave me 900 dirhams. I mean, how much is my bed space? I have to pay bed space for 500 dirhams. I have to pay transportation. How am I supposed to cope? Right? I need to send some money back home because we all have responsibilities back in our countries before we came. Even if you don't have direct responsibilities from your siblings, you have that you have to do to you know, as a contribution to humanity. And I spoke to him. He was like, oh, there were lots of mistakes in what you did and what you did. Now, all through the time when I was working, I had record of my login and log out because I was secretary, I was everything. So I kept those documents. Each time I took a salary, I made sure I signed. I had the pay slip as a proof because I knew that there was going to come a time where I was going to take him to the labor. Now, that's what most Africans miss out. You should know your rights. If an employer fails to pay you, you can report them to labor. I had all those documents. Sometimes some months he will pay more, he will pay less. I mean, I didn't have stability. I couldn't plan. Apart from that, there were other stuff that he was doing that was so wrong. Right? I kept pushing. I was there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th month was just the peak of it. And then I finally left. We went to labor. We were in court for some time. Now, most people are afraid to take their bosses to court and they are scared, oh, he has my passport, he won't give me back, or I'm never going to win a case against maybe a local or against my employer. Now, the good thing about UAE is that labor laws are labor laws. Your contract is your contract. And if you're not paid and you have proof of this, or even if you resign and the boss is refusing to let you go, there is a law that protects you. So when I noticed he wasn't paying, I started applying for other jobs. I got an interview. I went there. They were offering me the job, but they told me I need to start like in 2 weeks. So I told them, no, I need a month, because you need to give a month's notice. I gave him my resignation letter. I gave a month gap. After that, he refused to let me go. And then he wouldn't even pay me what he told me if I don't go, he's going to add 1,000 dirhams to my pay. Well, I look at it and I weighed the other option, and that it was going to be a new place. I said, okay, I will stay. He didn't even live up to that. That was when I took him to labor. And I had a proof of my resignation letter, because I gave him a hard copy. I sent a soft copy to myself. I copied him in. So you need to have all this backup before you take your boss or your employer to labor if they are not meeting up the terms of their agreement. All right, so I'm going to leave it there for today, and we'll continue this story another time. But as an African here, you need to know your rights. I know there are so many people that have that story. You work, and the first 5-6 months they pay you. After that, they don't pay you, and yet you have bills. You have a life to live. You can't live your life at the mercy of your employer, because they are never going to put their business on hold for you. So get to know your rights, and do your necessary research, and don't be afraid to take your employer to labor, because the labor laws protect us, right? So as I said, I'm Inspired Grizel, and if you love this video, go ahead and share it. It might help somebody. It might inspire somebody. God bless you. I love you.